Hi, everyone. Joyce Hall, NOTA Executive Director. I'm so glad that you're listening in today to learn about the many volunteer opportunities that we have available for our members. Today, we are focused on the appointed positions. And there we go. And we're specifically talking about committee chairs, committee members, and network co-chairs. And today we are talking about network co-chairs. So I'm very excited to talk to Liz Garcia today, who is going to talk about her experience in being a co-chair. But let's talk a little bit about what a network co-chair does. So they currently we have 12 networks right now, and anyone can join a network. And our co-chairs provide resources and discussion opportunities for members to talk about just trends and things that are happening, benchmarking in their particular areas. And like I said, I'm really excited to have Liz Garcia with us today to talk about her volunteer experience with NOTA and how she got involved. So welcome, Liz.
Thank you, Joyce. Good to be here.
So let's start with the first question, Liz. How did you first get involved with NOTA as a volunteer?
Well, many years ago, when at my first NOTA, my colleagues had been involved with NOTA, and so they really shared with me the benefits that they enjoyed. And so my very first volunteer position with NOTA was at a conference, and got involved with the team there and just kind of facilitating. I was one of the ed session volunteers, so really got excited with that and got to meet more people and watch some really close colleagues chairing our 2-year network. And so really opened that opportunity for me, knowing that I had the background and the skill set to be able to do that on a bigger scale. Was fun and exciting, and something that I wanted to consider in the future.
And so how did your previous experience lead you to apply for the network co-chair for the 2-year network?
I think, like I said, I've been working in higher ed for 20 plus years, and in orientation for 12 years. And so bringing all those experiences of leading groups within my campuses brought that opportunity. I think that experience to do that. Being able to co-chair the network is really about bringing like minds together and sharing information. What works at a 2-year may also work at a 4-year or whatnot, but in our 2-year network, we're smaller versions of what maybe some of our other network partners are doing. And so it's a great opportunity to bring people together and just share discussions and best practices. It's a great resource if you are, you've got a new challenge ahead of you and you're not quite sure how to go forward with it. Being able to reach out to your network and people who have similar experiences as you, it's really nice. And so as the co-chair, to be able to facilitate that really brings great joy to be able to bring those ideas together, because we're always learning. And if everybody knows about higher ed, we're always borrowing from each other. And so that's kind of the fun thing. And I think the best thing I've really liked about it is, I've gotten to meet people from across the country. And because of this network and now being in this co-chair position, I've been able to elevate my knowledge of OTR even after all these years that I've been doing the work, because times change and our cohorts change, and so there's always something new out there. And so taking the old experiences, adding it to new experiences, it's really fun. I think it's one of the really good things that NOTA brings to the opportunity for us. And on top of that, just being able to share my knowledge just from a training perspective, from a broader scope of more than just orientation, because I've covered a lot of different areas. So yeah, just taking all of that. I think the other nice thing about it is that there's really a lot of flexibility that you can make that co-chair position what you need it to be for your network. So
I appreciate that, Liz. I think that your wealth of experience that you bring to the 2-year network really speaks volumes. And I love what you said, that there's NOTA is a big part of the networking and benchmarking with each other and borrowing from each other and learning from each other. And that's what really what NOTA is about. And so I appreciate all that you said in that area, because that really is what the networks are. And so I appreciate that. So what do you get from volunteering with NOTA?
Well, like I said, it's really fulfilling. The networks that you've developed, you meet people through NODA, mostly at the conferences, right? That's where we all meet up, and you're anxiously awaiting the next conference because you want to see all your friends. But you also get an opportunity for great resources. Being able to sit on some of these committees, these leadership opportunities within the association, not just the networks, but within the association itself, opens up a wealth of knowledge that you can then take back to your own campuses and use those leadership skills. And you're also able to take back, okay, this is what the country is saying. And you can take that back to your institution and say, because I know my dean is always asking, well, what's everyone else doing? What's such and such school doing? And I'm like, okay, well, let me call them, right? And because I've built these relationships, I'm able to call people, on the other side of Texas. I'm in Houston. So, or I can call people in Chicago, or I can call people in San Diego, wherever we're curious about, and we can get information that we need. And everyone is so helpful and responsive. And that, I think, is one of the greatest assets and things that I get back from volunteering with NODA, is like, it opens up the opportunity. I used to think going to NODA, nobody really knew who I was. And since I've been a network chair, I'm like, oh, wait, they know my name. I was like, I know I've been around a while, but it's like, oh, wait, they know my name. And so it's just really fun in that way of really getting to know people. And getting it also, it's great for professional development for our younger professionals who are looking to grow. This is a great opportunity to get some of that skill set in under your belt.
I appreciate you saying that, because I've done several of these, and I've heard that a lot, is that just the professional development that you might not get at your own institution or your own campus, that you get it from your volunteer experience a lot of times within NODA. And you're right, the starting out at a network level might help some of those newer professionals with the engagement and just networking. I always say that we, as a small association office, we cannot do this work alone. We do rely very heavily on our volunteers. So I really appreciate your leadership in the 2-year network and continuing to be involved with the association. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on being a volunteer.
Absolutely.
I realized the whole entire time I just spoke, you might have not heard me because I was on mute. So you forget how to use Zoom sometimes. So I apologize, friends. So Liz, thank you so much for your words of wisdom and all that you said in your involvement as a network co-chair. It's really important. As a small nonprofit association, we do rely on our volunteers. So thank you so much for your leadership in volunteering and being involved with the networks.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
And I keep going on mute. Here's how you apply. Applications are open year round for any of our appointed positions. Terms begin January 1st of each year. And for a network co-chair position, it is a 2-year a 2-year term with the option to renew if someone wanted to. And then here is the link. You go to the NODA volunteer page and look at the appointed positions, and all the position descriptions are there. If you ever have any questions, our members could contact either myself or anyone on our leadership. I'm sure that Liz would be willing to have a conversation with you, so I could connect you with her as well. If you have some questions about how it is to get involved or what it means to be a network co-chair. And I want to thank everyone for listening, and thank you so much, Liz, for being with us today and talking about your experience in volunteering with NODA.
Absolutely. It was a great experience. Thank you.